Alright, I'm turning this off. Justin, what do you think with it?
I think it's wonderful. It flies very, very well. Tracks great. Does all the basic and even some of the advanced 3D maneuvers.
Is it your favorite?
This one's my favorite. Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%.
If it could have gone wrong, it went wrong in this video we tried to make for the Extra NG. Great flying airplane. Airplane one did good. Everything along the way broke. Batteries were dead, chargers were broken, cameras were broken, microphones didn't have batteries, airplane crashed because it hit a drone. Windy, not windy, lost the SD card, found the SD card, lost the SD card, found the SD card. Whew, a lot went wrong, but this is what you got. This is the crumbs of the Extra NG video.
Hey, Basil and Will with Grayson Hobby, and we have the Extra NG, one of the best airplanes DW Hobby has made. Here, This video is a flying video. Anyways, we're at the Great Hilltop Flyers. Justin Owen, one of the best pilots I've ever known, is flying it, and here it is.
So, as you can see by my hair blowing up, it's actually a kind of windy day. I remember this being probably about a 7-8 mile an hour wind, if I remember right. Talking about the video here, the factory prop we're running on it, which, Basil, can you tell me what the prop is on that?
I cannot tell you what it is.
Can't read it. It is a 12x6. So we're using the factory prop in this video, running a 1303 cell, or 1503 cell. I gotta look back at that one. But this is the maiden flight, I believe. Actually, I think I did take it up and trimmed it out, possibly, and then Justin flew it immediately following that.
Yeah. Actually, I think
this is a maiden because we're checking control surfaces. So yeah, no, this was actually the maiden on this one.
Are you sure? Oh, that's right, because the very first one we crashed.
We had a pre-production model that had a...
We crashed it. Yeah. Our fault. It was a drone.
Control horn came off.
Yeah. While Will does that pre-check, let me just tell you, it's a 1200 millimeter wingspan, which, do you know what that is in inches?
1200 millimeter?
Yeah. No.
47
inches.
Yeah.
Thanks to information on our website here. And while we're at it, it's gonna wait.
If you found value in this video, please hit that like button below so we know that you guys enjoyed the video so we continue making these. Yeah. Oh, and the video jumps to
here
us
Justin.
flying. Yeah, this is Justin flying this already.
All right, out of focus.
Out of focus. Cameraman is Basil today, by the way.
Yeah. Now, when anybody first flies, they go high. They're trying to get the field airplane. I like to record everything because you never know, a bird may run into it, or
we've had a very funny mishap on a Maiden before, so it's great to record it.
Yeah.
And that's way out of focus. What happened there?
Maybe I thought it was off. I thought there it's on. Okay, here we go. Well, while we're doing that, it's 700 grams. It comes with 4 9-gram servos. Yeah, that's about it.
This is the blurriest video of. Oh, we're in focus. We're in focus for a second.
All right, here we go. These are called, what is it? They're not
this
rolling.
is rolling harriers.
Rolling
he's
harrier.
doing, yeah.
Here comes a
little knife edge, rolling harrier.
I wish Justin was here, but he'll tell you all about it. Here.
Yeah, he's just hovering in kind of thing, and he's fighting the wind. This was a windy day. He was fighting. I do remember that. This was.
Look at that tail go. That rudder just go. Yeah. So as you can see, this plane is very, very aerobatic. Aerobatic. Acrobats are the guys at the circus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's an upside down flying there. Here we go.
He's basically just getting used to it. I remember we were dialing the rates and all that, and he's just
snap turn. I call that.
I didn't.
Yeah. All right. So here comes another knife edge. So all right, 1200 millimeters, 47 inches. What motor is on here?
We were making the best we can watching the video with no audio, guys. Just so you know. The video has no audio because it was completely corrupted thanks to a little DJI unit.
Yeah.
Thanks, DJI.
Now he's getting dialed in. Now look at that. Now he's coming in with that knife edge. Justin's favorite move is a knife edge. I could knife edge one direction, but he could actually knife edge both directions.
He can fly it around, do rolling harriers, knife edge. Yeah.
Here he comes. Look how slow that thing. And that's a windy day. That thing is just beautiful looking.
I thought we did catch the windsock at one point.
He flips out of it there. Here it comes.
But you saw the power it had to pull out of the maneuver and all that. It's got plenty of power. So a lot of the DWs, we actually end up changing the prop to a bigger size and all that. This particular model with the 2817 motor, I believe it was a 900 kV. It's a 480 class motor. It's got plenty of power with a 12.6 for this plane. Absolutely plenty of power. Zero need to change the prop from the 12.6.
We landed. We're probably changing the rates or something
here. And Justin. Yeah, the winglets I did glue on backwards. My bad, guys.
All right, I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, it still worked fine. Don't worry about it. Ignore it. See now you can see the throw better.
Yeah.
But look how much throw we have on the ailerons. That's what, 2 inches of throw it seems like, but it's pretty much maxed out without binding.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of throw right there. And not only a lot of throw, it's
a lot of
it's
wing
a lot
area.
of wing area. It's like
Yeah.
half the wing. Well, 2/3 of the wing.
yeah.
All right, so
that's there, and then he's showing the elevator, and this is how much throw he has on this thing. Again, pretty much maxing out. You can see it's almost touching the elevator or the vertical part of the fuselage right there. And you just want to make sure when you are setting these up that you don't put too much throw in it to where it actually is hitting and binding, because that can overstress the servo, damage, etc. You'll see here we're actually talking about possibly cutting out the foam more to get extra throw, because that's one thing Justin said he could even do. He could even use more elevator if you wanted to. But again, you got to make sure you're not hitting the control surfaces. The elevator down here, you can see, again, you can see plenty of throw there. It's cut out. And then when we go to the rudder, you'll want to see, and he's talking about inverted something. Again, I wish we had audio. This was a great video. See how much rudder throw we have here. It's as much throw as you can get without the elevator touching the control horn.
Looks like a pterodactyl. All right, so now we're going with the battery. What battery is Will? I don't know. Oh, I think you're talking about your...
Oh, yes. Okay, so I did move the control horn on the elevator. This is the vertical we're talking about right now, but this is where you glue it in, and you'll look at the elevator. The factory actually puts the control horn farther out on the tail, and I did move it more in line, and that's one thing we talked about.
That makes sense. I mean, that's a mechanical problem.
Yeah.
Thing.
And so you can see where I cut it shorter compared to the other one to make it fit.
Yeah.
And I actually put it over the spar. So on the spar, on the control horn, I cut a little groove and put it on either side of the spar so it was more in line. And you can see it's in line with the hinge. The pivot point is in line with the hinge. You don't want it back. You don't want front. You want it in line with the pivot hinge.
And then it looks like you have a little skid plate or something like that? Or...
Yeah, that was a little piece of carbon fiber left over from the control horn plate. I just glued it into there. That way it didn't drag the rudder on the ground. I've seen people use wire. I've seen popsicle sticks. Popsicle sticks is a great way, easy to do it. And there's a skid right there. Look at that. You knew the future on that one. But
it's like I recorded it.
I don't remember it.
All right, come on, let's fly. Let's fly.
Talking about the motor here. This is the factory prop, 12x6 factory prop. Plenty of power.
Does Justin like the slow fly props? I think he does.
Usually, yes.
Yeah. So Justin flies usually like 50% gassers, and his airplane is probably more.
But his electrics, he did a lot of slow flying.
Yeah, but he usually flies the big up gas planes. I mean, like the prop alone is more than the whole store.
Yeah.
So
we're going over here. Yeah. This is the battery we're talking about, and unfortunately, I'm telling you in the video what size battery it is, but I'm pretty sure it was a China Hobby Line 1500 3-cell.
Do I zoom in? Come on, zoom in.
At the lowest, it's going to be a 1300. Unfortunately, they look exactly alike except for the width of the battery.
All right. Well,
so I'm pretty sure that's the 1500 3-cell. I'm 99% sure on that one.
I like the color. Blue and red make it stand out really easy to see.
Yeah, the color scheme is very good. Oh, there you go. There's the windsock. Yeah, that's
a pretty good wind right there. No matter what day we choose to fly, it's always windy.
So we're talking about how long of a flight we got with the cell checker. Medium CA, kicker, foam tack. Those are really the 3 glues I used on it. This plane flies excellent. It's a big size plane without a big size cost. So this is a great, excellent setup for those of you that want to do 3D or get into the 3D flying without breaking the bank. This is a plane, unlike the traditional ones, you could say you don't have a good runway to fly from, and you just want to fly. You could literally take the gear off this thing, hold it by the cockpit kind of thing, throttle up and let go, and it'll fly out of your hands.
I think that's it. It's got a nice rounded over.
It does have an airfoil, yes. It's not a flat wing.
So it comes exactly the way you see it in the video. It comes like this. It's pre-painted, means the silk screen. They use silk screen, which is really cool. I think they sand over the edges, so there's no hard, sharp edges other than like trailing edges. And all this sanding you see, all this rounded over, it's all done by hand. So this is the machine does the bulk of it, but then they come in and fine tune it with their hands. The reason why I know, because I asked them about certain parts that sometimes were not the same. And they said, well, what do you want? They're handmade. So you're getting a handmade quality airplane. Receiver, you could use any Radio Master, any Spectrum, any Futaba.
4-channel minimum. I do recommend a 6-channel and splitting the ailerons onto 2 separate channels for ease of assembly. And you can fine tune, get more rates, stuff like that.
Lemon, would you use it with a? It'd probably be really good for a beginner with like a lemon.
6-channel lemon is fine if you want to do the gyros. This is an excellent airframe to learn how to use the gyros without, you know, possibly ruining that $1,000 balsa job you have. But a stabilizer gyro receiver would be excellent on these two because all it's going to do is make a windier day feel like less wind.
Right, and it makes your knife edge stick and your whatever move you're doing stick, so it looks like you're way better at a pilot. For the record, Justin does not use.
Yeah, this is just a stand.
We talked about the 40 amp ESC.
Yes.
And pre-factory with the
XT60 and 3.5 bullets pre-solder, so there's no soldering required for this kit.
Yep. And then we talked about the glue.
I use foam tack on the foam-to-foam surfaces, so the wing half's gluing together, the front and rear half, the elevator gluing in, and the rudder gluing on.
Why not CA with that?
Because I like the flexible bond. It makes the foam tack kind of cures in the same flexibility that the EPP itself has by design.
Yeah, and so when CA hardens, it's like a
crystal.
Yeah, it makes so when you crash, if you come in hard, it won't break on the glue joint. It'll break right before or after, causing to me more damage. So,
but ironically, the CA works extremely well with the carbon fusing to the foam, where you don't want it to flex because that's the strength of the airframe. As you can see in the video, this is the one thing on the elevator I was talking about. The factory tells you to put the hinge line out here, and I think that's just too far because you get that bend like that and you don't get it as linear as a throw. So I moved it inwards and more in line with the elevator push rod. So guys, this is the Dancing Wing Hobby Extra NG, available at GraysonHobby.com.
Justin, what do you think with it?
I think it's wonderful. It flies very, very well. Tracks great. Does all the basic and even some of the advanced 3D maneuvers.
Is your favorite?
This one's my favorite. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everything's your favorite.